A lot of people think it's just a day off on Memorial Day. And for me, I mean, it's just about the honor of all of it. I mean, it's one thing for somebody to be honorable and put themselves in harm's way on a reaction and save someone or a group of people. It's another to volunteer and travel and take up arms voluntarily and stand in the face of danger and lose your life for, once again, stick for what you believe in. I think that's pretty, there's not much more honorable thing to be.
When I think about how many people have given up so much, the one that I remember the most is saying goodbye to my kids, who were 9 and 4 at the time. You say goodbye, I don't know when I'm coming back, I don't know what's going to happen, and how hard that is. And you think about what things would make us say goodbye to the people we love like that. They're not very many. But this is one that so many people have done that and known that that's what they have to do.
Your crew was a family, really. You had to be. You trained together, you lived together, you did everything together. You got where you knew what each and every one of the people in that airplane were thinking.
In years gone by, I belonged to the Marine Corps League. So Memorial Day, we're out there as in the cemeteries, you know, honoring the dead and everything, and the veterans and so forth.
The committee who defected to London in 1941 formed a committee there who was going to tell everybody what to do and how to do it. And they were going to send people from England over to demonstrate how we were going to bomb things, explode things, use weapons, self-defense, how to kill people, and so on.
When I got off the plane, I hugged my father and whispered in his ear, "Thanks for teaching me how to shoot. You saved my life." And that was part of the training that started probably when I was 8 or 9. And being on the ground, and that there were a couple instances when I was looking down the barrel and somebody was looking down the barrel. I saw the flash from his AK-47. And the next one's coming out in a third of a second. And he missed me. And I didn't miss him. So the second round never came out. And that's my father, you know. He taught me well.
You know, you do it because you believe in yourself, and you believe in the people that you're flying with. And that's, I mean, you've got it. I mean, I knew the guys. I mean, obviously came over their stuff, but it's a trust you build, and and you just, you believe.
The hardest thing I've done since I got out of the Air Force was on 9/11, because I happened to be the reader that morning. And I made it through it, but what kept going through my mind when I stood up there at that lectern was the oath that I took, that we all took, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
We lost an aircraft and crew due to a mid-air collision with another aircraft. And then the second incident was we lost a aircraft and crew right after takeoff. The first one, I didn't think that much about it. The second one, when that happened, that got me really to thinking that maybe the Lord is with me, because I was scheduled to be on both of those flights. That, yes, there is somebody looking out for me.
It does stick with you, you know, to have a flag draped coffin pulled onto the airplane, and then have all the, you know, you can see the buddies lining up. And one thing that hit me was another part of this war, or these wars going on now, was to see Iraqis standing there as well. Iraqi military at the time. This is probably 05, kind of at the height of things going on, kind of going wrong over there, 04, 05. And to see them standing there, shoulder to shoulder with American brothers, that had some special meaning to me.
Because you get an outfit that's been through 2 or 3 serious fights.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys that are left are pretty close. I was in France. In Paris before Paris was liberated, because there was nobody else there, and we went into Paris, and then we pulled back out so that the French could liberate Paris officially.
We came under mortar fire once, and all scurried into just a little makeshift sandbag bunker. Just kind of a low level thing, had to crawl into it, and I don't remember how many of us were in there, maybe 15, 20, and it was very interesting. The people who, I mean, the people you would expect were openly praying, but you could see the people that you wouldn't have expected. I mean, like you were saying, there's no atheists. Everybody was hitting it at that point. They weren't afraid to pray, or who saw it at that time. It just kind of comes out in those situations.
But in my deployments, I've experienced some really amazing fellowship when you're not distracted by daily life, and there is that threat and uncertainty that's hanging over you, and really getting close to the people that I was worshiping with, and even missing that, or knowing that I was going to miss it when I went back to normal life again.
You know, I think there's 3 things that fill a church. It's Christmas, Easter, and a good war. You know, I mean, the chapel filled up when the war started. You know, it's really kind of funny. And those of us who've been all along and trying to bring the other guys in, you know, my deal was I'm not going to make a deal. I've got my deal with the Lord, you know, and I know where that is. And that helped a lot.
I was always having these one-way conversations with the Lord, you know. And basically, I was congratulating him on how well he was doing his job. And so that gave me a feeling of comfort.
My faith wasn't as deep then as it is now, but I was never scared to do any of it. I think just because I believed that I was doing the right thing for doing what needed to be done at the time. So.
This country of ours has a grand tradition of respecting and caring for the men and women in uniform that they send off to war. There's always been people in every war who are against the war, but that traditionally they have honored those sons and daughters who have served. But during Vietnam, things changed. I see Paul nodding his head. And I don't ever want it to happen again. And when I was a commander, and I sent troops off to the Middle East for the first Gulf War, I made it a point to be at every departure and be at every return. I opened up my base to allow and encourage and announce when those kids were coming back. Judy and I were there every time, but I wanted to make sure that they knew, and the community also knew, how much we valued what they've done.
We have a great generation going on right now. All these volunteers to go over there to Afghanistan, to countries that really, aside from 9/11, which we had to react to in some way, they didn't really have to go. And what does it really mean to our country? And yet, I think we have a new next generation coming along, greatest generation.
Yeah, a little thank you is, especially after, what most of us here experienced coming home from Vietnam. It's powerful. The thank you is huge.
Yeah.